and we started exploring that word with other words to kind of like get the vocabulary type of our mind sort of around with this word, and then also exploring it a bit more physically. So like how do you make the movement of supply, or how do you make the movement of coerce, or something like that, for example, other words that I've used. And then also it gets very interesting when there are sort of adjectives and you're working with someone, because actually you can then, is it adjective that I'm looking for? I think so, yeah. You can then like sort of try and act with that person what that adjective is, like to coerce someone, and then who takes the leading role and who takes the non-leading role. And then again, trying to explore that in drawing as well. And then, like on this last piece here, in the corner, I've been working on this piece for the past week since we did it, where I was trying to, I guess, bring a bit of depth so that you kind of like have certain parts that are more forefront and more further back. Regularly for the past year, what I've been doing to this contact timber class in Stoke Newington, I've just been working on a very small scale, like every page. Basically, there are all these. I have a stack of drawings and paintings, and they're exactly the same size. So it's been actually a very kind of a big learning curve and a wonderful experience to, I guess, spread out onto quite a larger sheet of paper and explore, I guess, what can happen. And actually something that I completely didn't even know what was going to come out, but something that did come out, which was quite interesting, was like, for me, this sense of narrative in it, kind of like, or a sense of time passing, and that sort of suggesting an idea of narrative. Like, not any specific narrative, but just, yeah, a continuum or passing of time. Which I guess it also brings it back to, in relation to actually what this sort of stuff is, like, in that it being, I guess, the culmination of both of these things. So it becomes the physical presence of a mover that is on the page, that is kind of like marking their gesture as they're going along, as well as me observing and kind of marking their gesture. So it becomes documentation in two different sorts of, from two different perspectives, I guess. So like your own autonomous documentation, as well as my documentation of you as a dancer. Yes, I think that's